Hey guys, want to just do a little video today on the Arrma Granite. This is an older model, brushless model. If you happen to get one of these recently from the Horizon Tower Hobbies clearance sale, I would definitely recommend it. I'm very impressed for the price of this car. Wasn't really planning on getting another car, but this really, I don't know why I'm messing with the 12 scale and 14 scale, because really for the price and everything, this is just awesome. The size, I love it. Overall, this one is stock. I think I ran about 4 batteries through it so far. No, nothing broken, no complaints. I've jumped it off a couple of stairs. No big hits or anything like that on it. Quite a few rolls. I mean, with the right battery in it, once it's fully charged, you punch it, the thing will just flip over. It'll wheelie for days if you got the right throttle control on it. But I can't say much. I was never really a big Arrma fan just because of all the plastic. I like seeing, like, alloy chassis and some CNC, but I get it. I understand. It's flexible, so it's more for a basher, and it's gonna survive with the plastic. Even though you're just like, oh, there's plastic everywhere. Even the shocks are plastic. So, just reading through the forums and watching some videos about the weak spots, I wanted to upgrade them, and I kind of went really cheap. I bought a lot of stuff from Amazon, and I just wanted to show you guys real quick. The upgrades I did, none of them are really going to be for speed. Everything I did for is just for strength, upgrading the shock towers and such like that. I want to know the damage of the weight, because I think I hit a lot of weight doing the upgrades here. So right now, stock without battery, we're at 6 pounds, 62 ounces. So let's check the upgraded one here. And I'll go through the modifications. Not bad. It's about a little less than a pound. So I've kind of addressed all the weak areas. I wanted to put a chassis brace because I've seen that the chassis crack. I couldn't do the top chassis brace. So, and I also know that the shock towers are a weak spot, as well as the shocks are a weak spot. You could upgrade. There's a lot of DIY upgrades for shocks, and I just kind of went the cheap alloy kit way. This is all Amazon kit right here. This is Amazon no-name parts. And majority of it went together smoothly. I did do a video about the motor mount being a really big headache. But overall, the shocks, I had to put oil in those. There's no oil in the shocks. I did do the spoiler mod. I still want to raise the spoiler up to help protect the body. Some other modifications that I did, they gave you some screws for the shocks, but they're a little short, and I didn't want to rip the threads out. So I ended up going with a longer screw, and I ended up putting a nut on the end. And I might cut the end off here with a Dremel, but it really doesn't bother me. In the front, there was an extra gap here. I had to shim with a washer. So in the front, it was kind of loose. In the back, I didn't have that issue. So there's a little bit quality control issues there. So I did both the cases. I also did the CNC yokes, and then I also have the 4S metal diffs in the front and rear. I have the aluminum drive shaft. I have the metal spur gear, metal pinion gear. So with this kit, I finally was able to get it set up to work as far as the spur and the pinion. They're a little bit thinner than the stock, but they are metal. I went with a little bit bigger pinion, so I'm hoping it gives me some mile an hour. But as we mentioned, we have the added weight. I did leave everything as far as stock control arms, stock tie rods, stock hubs. I did upgrade the steering linkage, so that's all upgraded. They recommended that one as well. I was looking at a set of Proline tires. I'm going to run these for now just because of budget, and we'll see where we go. I know on the stock one, those wheels are just definitely not round. You could tell when the car's moving, they're just terrible. Let's see here, what else I want to talk about. So yeah, these are all the stock parts I kind of removed here. We got the stock case, stock shock towers. This brace I'll probably end up putting on that chassis. This brace will not work on here, unfortunately, because this CNC no longer has the hex pieces to lock these in. They're not machined correctly. And it's not that I got a defective one, that's just how they designed it on the upgrade. So the plan is to do a lower chassis brace, M2C. I bought the wrong one. I got for the Big Rock. So this one's a little bit longer than this one. So I'm currently waiting for that. So I will have a brace on the chassis. So everything as far as I'm concerned with, as far as braking, is addressed. I did decide to leave the stock axles after reading some reviews about the aftermarket ones. I do have a set of aftermarket ones, but they're just saying they're heavier, added weight, and they also don't use a spline. They use a grub screw to hold on to the splines in the diff, which I didn't really like that too much. So I decided to run just the stock axles. Those will be the weak point, which is fine with me. So if anything binds up, I'll be breaking the axle, which is not very hard to change. Overall, this truck is very easy to work on, well engineered. Pretty much this is going to slide out, the motor pulls back. I did have to, this isn't going to click in anymore because this is not flexible and this is not flexible. So on the stock setup, which is very well engineered, you just lift the tab up and the whole thing slides back. With this one, you got to loosen these two screws, which loosens the tab, and then you can slide it all back. But yeah, the bearing, it doesn't make contact with the drive shaft. I'm guessing if if it does start to wobble, it will make some contact with the drive shaft to kind of be more of a safety loop, I guess, to keep everything in check. I don't know if that's just because this drive shaft doesn't work with that bearing, but then again, if that was tight, I don't know how you get the drive shaft in, so it has to be kind of a little bit loose. So if you're into the Arrma stuff, I'm also looking for feedback on a 4S setup, 4 to 6S setup. So if you have any recommendations on an ESC and a motor, leave the comments below. I am talking to James about getting a 120 amp ESC he has. I think it's just the upgraded version of this one. But, like I said, let me know what you think. Just because of my budget constraint, I might get the 120 and run this 4S with the stock motor. Thinking about it. Or if I can get a whole kit with the motor and the ESC. So yeah, that is the setup. So I have yet to drive this. I'll probably maybe test it tomorrow. Without the chassis brace, of course. I'm not going to do anything crazy. But do some pulls on it and see how it feels with that different gearing. I know I might have lost a little bit of punch, but this thing doesn't really need that punch. It is just phenomenal. Just a wheelie machine. I don't think I'm going to do the wider stance. I like how it is right now. But I could see why the people do go wider with it. Just for some more control on the thing. It's going to be my street curb basher. I want to be able to jump over curbs. Will I take it off-roading? I'm not sure. I mean, the front lawn and stuff like that, definitely. The park and stuff like that, definitely. But I don't see myself going like some big dirty mud hills and just tearing this thing up, which I could do, probably. I did not put the splash guards back on. I like the way the chassis looks without them. For longevity and maintenance, it might be a bad thing, but overall it looks cleaner and I like it. But so other than them also being clean, help cleaning, keeping all the stuff out, I think they might also offer a little bit of rigidity too to help the chassis from flexing. So we'll see. Maybe they might be back on, but for now, I'm gonna leave them off. Yep. So I hope you guys like the build, and I will get a video running. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, I just want it as cheap as possible. I bought the full aluminum kit from Amazon. It has the arms. There's another YouTuber, he did a video of the whole kit, and he was pretty happy with it. He said everything was pretty much stout and strong. It's a knockoff kit. So, I would have liked to go a little bit better. Maybe shocks. We'll see how these go. If they break, if they fail, I'll probably upgrade to the Pro lines. But yep. Let me know what you guys think. If there's any other modifications I should do. Too much bling? Possibly. Should I do the wheelie mod or just leave it alone? I haven't had any issues with it. I know they make the reviews on the CNC one were kind of mixed. Doesn't seem like it might be worth it, but it does look nicer. This spoiler set up there. I mean, I think there's some. I didn't watch a full video on doing the build, but I had to take the whole rear bumper off, screw the spoiler onto the rear bumper, and then take the assembly, put it in, to kind of click it over, and it'll bend a little bit, and then put the body mount on. It was a little bit of a chore, but it's done. Everything went into the aluminum is Loctited. Oh, that's the other thing too. This is awesome stuff. I like this. I like this more than the liquid. This is the paste. It's like a glue stick. So it's like a paste. Just dip your screw in there. It's great for one-handed things, where with the liquid you're just like got stuff running everywhere. This is just so easy. But you do gotta spread it around with your finger because it just wants to stick in one spot. But I did Loctite the axles. Everything's got blue Loctite. I did Loctite the axle screws in there. Anything going into metal I have Loctite in. I didn't do anything as far as going into the plastic. I do see that these screws might be a weak point going into the axle here. I didn't put any, like, I know sometimes I'll put nail polish as a Loctite, as a bonder into here, but I didn't. We'll see how they go. But if it does get too weak, it looks like that you could potentially run a screw all the way. So if you rip out the threads, you could probably put a screw all the way through and put a nut on the other end. So yeah, looks like, I don't know, maybe you can't, but there might be enough room to get a nut on there if you can. You know, if I have any issues, I'd upgrade to the CNC arms if I need to. Yep, that's it all. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks.